Over the many years of the World Inside Out expeditions, we have always tried to get into closed communities into which no investigator or traveler has ever set their foot to unravel their secrets. Closed Buddhist monasteries that live by centuries-old spiritual laws. Isolated, uncontacted Amazonian tribes that have never seen civilization. Religious communities that keep outsiders out and stay true to their traditions. But did you know that just 40 kilometers from the well-known Odesa lives one of the most mysterious and closed communities in Ukraine? Friends, we continue the World Inside Out Ukraine expedition. Now we're in the Odesa region in the village of Dobroslav. The people we are traveling to have their own faith, their own traditions. They are very conservative. These people believe that after death, a person can move into the body of an animal. They do not use contraception and do not eat store-bought meat. And the body of their main saint is said to have been cut alive for the salvation of all mankind. The people call them bearded men because it is forbidden for their men to shave their beards. They are reluctant to talk to outsiders, and especially journalists. Who are these people? What secrets give them the strength to be among the happiest residents of Ukraine despite persecution and harassment? And how is this even possible in the modern world? We have been negotiating for a very long time. We have been told no many times. And now, we are finally going to visit one of the members who agreed to talk to us. We have a preliminary agreement on acquaintance, and there is no agreement on filming yet. The World Inside Out, Ukraine. So we're in a settlement of bearded men. They live on the outskirts of Dobroslav, separate from the rest of the inhabitants. And it is only at first glance their streets and houses are almost no different from their neighbors. In fact, it is a separate closed world where their own rules and laws, very unusual for us, reign. I see word has already gotten out about us. From the very first minutes, you can feel that strangers don't come here very often. An unfamiliar car immediately attracts attention. Good afternoon, Dmytro, Petro, Mykola, Andrei. I've heard about you, read, and fortunately see you in person. My respect. My respect mutually. Vyacheslav, are you Semenyuk? Yes. One of them, huh? This man, along with his family, was the starting point from which we learned about this unique gated community in the first place. And what he and his family are known for will definitely surprise you. I'm 60 years old, I have 39 grandchildren. Wow. That's not the limit, my sister's coming out now, she's got 60. Because of this, the Semenyuk family was all over the news a few years ago. More than 350 blood relatives who were registered as the largest family in Ukraine. A new record. Back then, we didn't know yet that they were members of a unique community, and that all the families here are large and with very unusual traditions. Good afternoon.
Hi,
What's your name?
Valentina.
These are the rules of meeting here. Good afternoon. What's your name? How many grandchildren?
67.
67?
Yes, 5 great-grandchildren.
Like this, and it's true. On average, how many children per family? Our mom, this is my sister, our mom gave birth to 13 of us. Are you siblings? Yes. I'm trying to memorize all relations. There are enough relatives here. So far, these people seem very friendly. But we'll see how it goes. After all, there are many surprises ahead, the first of which begin immediately. We had prayer over the baby today. We are celebrating a little bit. Prayer over the child here is a celebration similar to our baptisms. Our hero? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Congratulations to you. Thank you. Welcome to the table. Come on in. Thank you. Who is the oldest person here? Father. How old is your father? 93 years old. How many children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren does he have? 13 children, 87 grandchildren, and one granddaughter who already become a grandmother. Granddaughter become a grandmother? Yes. A seemingly ordinary grandfather, but since the filming, 6 months has passed, and the number of his grandchildren has increased to 127. He has 203 great-grandchildren. This is impressive in itself. In fact, there are not many people in Ukraine who can boast of such a number of direct descendants. Consequently, it is obvious that we are dealing not only with a long-lived, but also with a very powerful family. It is interesting to understand what is their strength. The moment when you became nationally known, when the record was set, how did it happen? I know it is obligatory to collect evidence, documents. Were they collected from you? Sure. All the birth certificates, it was about 3 weeks probably that I was collecting these documents. And when we started to hand in these documents, she says, "Have you counted all of them?" And I tell her that up to 10 more souls were born. She said, "That's enough, that's it. They are still being born and I don't have time to run around the yards, collect all the documents one by one." So there were more children born while the record was being set. So that's who is improving the demographic situation in Ukraine. The large number of children of bearded men is not an accident. Those babies we have now been born are not mere souls. They are prophets. They are the righteous. They are the first Christians, kings, David, Samuel. All the saints that are described in the Bible, they are all come to Zion today. And this right here is the New Jerusalem. Yes, you are not heard. Children here are considered the embodiment of kings and prophets, and in general they are building a new religious place in the Odesa region, the so-called New Jerusalem. It turns out that the more children and grandchildren, the more builders to create a large religious city, spiritual Jerusalem. This spiritual city is being built here. Let's figure out where we've gotten to. What rules reign in this New Jerusalem? And what religion do these people practice? To get to the bottom of this, we go to talk to the man without whom no decision is made in the community, and also with members of the congregation who know all about their faith. This is our elder. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Dmytro.
I know, I see.
This woman is revered here as a living saint. Why? We'll find out very soon. Can you tell us about your religion?
Our religion is known to everyone. The Zionists, the Murashkovets call it.
Well, to be honest, not everyone knows it.
Not everyone?
Not to modern people, especially young people. So as for those who live in a big city and know nothing about it.
The founder of our faith is considered to be our grandmother. She chose to listen to what God was telling her.
Olga Kirillchuk was a prophetess. God spoke through her. She was told that the earth will suffer a lot if you do what I tell you. The earth will be spared.
She was told, "You will stand in the fire," and their house caught fire. She and her children were in a room. She was told, "Don't come out. God must be trying to take her soul." The kids were like, "We're gonna die with mommy."
Wooden house, thatched roof, it caught fire. As witnesses write, the window burned, the ceiling burned, the cat jumped off the stove, fell dead. The spirit told them to come out, and they came out, and the house went out.
Came out unscathed because she heard a voice and she couldn't help but fulfill it. She started going around the believers, and the believers started disliking her because she was destroying the society. And that's how it was until she met Murashko.
Ivan Murashko is the second key figure in the religion of these people, and it is through his surname that they are also called Murashkovites. What year is this? It was Western Ukraine. This is the 31st to 32nd. Did religion appear in the 1930s, so it's quite young? Yes, then God brought them together and they became married and started preaching together. So it is, you might say, the mother and father of your religion. Founders. These are our leaders, Olga Kirillchuk, mother of Zion and mother of the covenant. The sacrifice of Christ is the main thing. It is her status, the greatest on earth. This is Ivan Murashko, the father of Zion, the angel of the covenant, who broke the seals from the body of Christ's sacrifice. This too is all according to the scriptures. I didn't quite understand what unsealing is and what kind of procedure it is. I don't know, some kind of exaction? Now you will hear shocking information and see very sensitive historical documentary photos. The world inside out is strongly against cruelty. We urge you not to repeat such things in real life. These are unique documentary testimonies that explain the worldview of these people. There are pictures like a man cutting her up, right? And then we can see the cut body. Some of the pictures are very scary, like in the opinion of the average citizen. Olga Kirilchuk had so much faith in God that she said, "I give my body for salvation." The phrase "to give up her body" refers to a rather ambiguous rite that Olga had to undergo, and it was performed by her husband, Ivan Murashko. He pulled the body away with forceps and made incisions. I mean, on a living body. She's lying down. He pulls back the skin and works the knife. No, with a razor. Razor. By the command of the Spirit, it was said to bare the bone, to cut to the bone. Right here you can clearly see him holding those tongs and working the razor, and everybody's watching. That was so many wounds, wasn't it? At once in one day, 13 wounds. Then again, repeat, 13 more wounds. Blood rituals are indeed present in many religions. In Pakistan, we have already seen a mourning procession called Arban, which Shiites hold to feel the agony that the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad endured before he was killed by his enemies. It's just something unbelievable. He's stepping himself really hard. I can see the cuts that are appearing. People are in a state where they are clearly not in control of themselves. I try to stay away because they're not looking back. And the goal is to make sure they bleed. In the religion of the bearded people, this ritual is performed for a very different purpose. Every seal was removed for some sin and to make up for it. A seal is one incision. One incision, huh? How did she put up with it? Eyewitnesses to this incident recorded that not a muscle twitched, not an eye twitched, and that's it. Wound cut, blood flowing, pulling. Why? Endured suffering, endured fire. This blood of hers is the saving blood. The blood was poured out into the river, into the wells. Everything we have heard is truly shocking. Let's try to make sense of it. From what is clear at the moment, these people say that in the 30s of the last century, an ordinary rural woman began to hear the voice of God. He allegedly told her that soon, on all people on the planet, a great disaster awaits. To save humanity, this voice told her to first stay in the burning house. And then he told her that she should sacrifice her body. So her husband began to cut her up. The followers believed that Olga Kirilchuk's blood was salvific, and if it gets into the sea and from there into the oceans, it can cleanse the whole earth from sin and supposedly save mankind from destruction. This practice quickly became high-profile and highly condemned. Ivan Murashko was arrested several times for removing seals and was also placed in a psychiatric hospital for evaluation. In the end, it all ended with Olga and Ivan leaving the community for Argentina in 1938.
My grandmother went abroad to Argentina, and we were left alone.
It would seem that after all I had heard, there was little to surprise me, but the most interesting events awaited me ahead. Olga Maximovna is Jesus Christ who came to earth a second time. In wounds, because he promised, he says, "I leave you in wounds" when he ascended to heaven. And in wounds, he came.
These wounds, they are Christ's wounds. It was Christ who suffered, again for the people, so that no one's soul would perish. That was the procedure.
What is there to say? These people believe that through Olga, whom they consider a victim of Christ, Christ himself suffered for all mankind for the second time after the crucifixion. And not somewhere but in Ukraine, in Rivne region in the 30s. According to this, right now I am interviewing not an ordinary granny, but you could say a direct descendant of the incarnation of Jesus Christ on earth. Is she your own grandmother?
My daddy's mom.
Do you have some kind of divine energy?
They are afraid I'll die because they'll have no one to go to.
What questions are you being consulted on?
Well, what are the questions? They come, the child is sick, what to do? It is necessary to pray for it. We pray. That's my business. To ask everyone to live peacefully. It's like I say, they like it. It fits.
Is there a rule that the congregation asks you as an elder before making a decision?
Yes, they asking.
And of course, Ms. Mary, described here as a direct descendant of Christ's sacrifice, knows better than anyone what laws God allegedly dictated to Olga Kirilchuk.
She was told not to eat pork, to wear birds. Clothing should also be modest. It is written in the law. It is forbidden that there should be no children. There should be as many children as God gives.
You can't have alcohol, right?
Right.
Tobacco?
You can't.
You can have tobacco. And because of a major law, the prohibition against working on Saturday, they had to relocate more than a dozen times.
After the war, already in the 55th year and until the 60s, we were not very well liked in Ukraine, in those cities where we were in the West.
Due to Saturday work ban, in the Soviet Union you had to work on Saturdays. And you couldn't. Arrived at one place, you're not suitable for us, you don't work on Saturday. 24 hours, take your stuff, move out.
In 1 year, we changed our place of residence 3 times. We wandered first, we went to Moldova. In Moldova it was the same as in Ukraine. We went to Kazakhstan, then to Russia. I have Misha. Where is he? He was born in Russia. He was 10 days old. They came from the village council. They said, it's haying season, we have to make hay, and you don't work on Saturday. We said, we told you, we asked you that we were like that. So you don't want to? Tomorrow there will be cars. Get in, we'll take you to the train station in Novosibirsk. So we did. We left. Then we continued our search. Young guys were sent to wherever they could find work. I think they worked in factories, in sanatoriums, and many other places.
In all, the bearded man had to change over a dozen locations in 4 republics in 2 decades, simply because they didn't work on Saturday. These are ours who have been in prison. For their faith, they got 25 years each. What is the correct name for what this document is? Sentences. For refusing to take up arms, didn't go to work on Saturday. Under the Soviet Union? Yes, 56th year, I guess. 56th year. Labor camp for 25 years with confiscation of all property. They spread provocative fabrications about the allegedly imminent death of the existing authorities and people. Well, the people have to be crossed out, and the government really isn't there anymore. And the authorities were still afraid back then. Are active participants of the illegal sectarian organization Murashkovtsi provided their apartments for illegal gatherings and also took part in discussion of questions of anti-Soviet character aimed at non-recognition of the existing system in the USSR and service in the Soviet army. Here it is. These are the actual historical documents that prove that. 25 years is a long time. These people, political prisoners, yes. Were they really prisoned? Yes, really. They were forced to work on Saturday, on Sunday in the camp. The conditions there were, to put it mildly, not very good. And for the fact that they refused to go to work on those days, a punishment cell, bread and water, for the whole weekend. The search for a place where Murashkovtsi could finally live in peace ended in 1972. Here, in the village of Kominternovo, or as it is now called Dobroslav. Today, the bearded man community live in their own separate closed world, where not everyone is allowed in. Their traditions are a little different. Bloody seals are no longer removed, but there are still many rules of life that seem strange to us. The food, for example. In the Word of God, it is written in detail and clearly what can be eaten and what cannot be eaten, what is clean and what is unclean, and we fulfill it. We eat fish only if it has scales, and without scales, it's considered snake-like. Cattle that chews cud and has split hooves, it's considered clean. We don't eat pork in any form. Beef, veal, lamb, chickens, ducks, geese, we eat it all. Even the bread here is baked in their own bakery according to their own rules.
Why did we start baking ourselves? It's clean. Why? There are no bad words, no swear words, no smoking, no drinking, no bad information.
So you believe that foods absorb a person's energy?
Sure.
Sorry, I picked at your phone. Own bread? Is that a group of some sort? Yeah, we have our own group. Show me, please.
I get up early when I bake. I post what I have.
And that's for the whole village, right?
Yeah, on our community.
Today is 7:13. Praise Jesus. Is there rye bread? People are asking here. You right? Not yet.
Yes.
So anyone can post, ask what's in stock, what's not.
Of course.
They say that bearded men don't buy meat from the store either. After all, even an approved animal must undergo a special ritual before it can be eaten. I'll call our butcher, who will do the ritual. Hello, praise Jesus. Come, we have chickens to slaughter. Although almost every family in Dobroslav keeps a farm, only one person specially chosen by the community can slaughter chickens and other animals. Is no one but him slaughter it? No. Is he doing it as a job for money, or is it just that kind of help? He's fulfilling a commandment. This is Uncle Petya, our butcher. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Dmytro, Petro, I see you have a responsible mission here in the village. Do you often have to slaughter? Yes, almost every day and more than once. How many years have you been on this mission? I wasn't even counting. More than 10. Our grandfather was a butcher. Around the age of 90 he died, and after my grandfather I became a butcher. Is it honorable to be a butcher here? It's a responsibility, what do you think? These are souls, they reincarnate. We don't know where this chicken soul came from, or any other animal. According to the beliefs of these people, if a person sinned and broke their laws, after death his soul could move into an animal. If the sins were insignificant, the person can become, say, a chicken. If the sins were many, then he could become, in their opinion, a dirtier animal. The methods of slaughter are strictly defined. The butcher must recite a prayer 9 times so the soul that was in that chicken will be reborn into a human being again. And only after that can the animal be killed. What do you do with the blood? Into the pit. We have a special pit in every yard. Bearded men also have a special attitude to blood. Since it is believed that the soul is exactly in it, blood cannot just pour out wherever. So the waste afterward, bones, feathers, and blood, everything is buried in the ground. As a man dies, his ashes are consigned to the earth, so it is. Everything is consigned to the earth. We don't have dogs or cats eating it. No one touches it. And we don't buy it at the store either. Anything meat-related, we don't buy anything at the store. We can only buy live and cook it according to our own, you might say, ritual. Then we can eat. Another important rule of bearded men is that every Saturday and Sunday they make sure to go to service. Today is Saturday. It is a special day in Dobroslav. All people are beautifully dressed. Everyone goes to the house of prayer. By the way, they made a very, very big exception for us. Not once have journalists been here on this Sabbath. Glory to Jesus Christ. Good to see you. Thank you for the exception to all the rules. Regards to you. Our leadership has given you permission. You are welcome. Oh, we need to leave the headgear on here. Yes. I see it that way. Necessarily a long sleeve too, right? Yes, the girls are all wearing headscarves. Here, you see, I didn't notice how many people. I'll be like this, very quietly speaking. Good afternoon. Come in here, I'll show you. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. The first thing that catches your eye is that this place does not resemble any church. It is just a large, very bright, spacious hall. The second thing you notice, instead of icons, there are photos of the founders of the religion and their descendants. No priest. And also very unusual arrangement of believers. If Christians during the service look towards the altar, Muslims towards Mecca, then bearded people all face the center, each other. The hall is divided into two halves, one of which faces the other, face to face. The service itself is also unlike anything you and I have seen in the world up to this point. The service is not led by a clergyman, but by an ordinary person chosen by the congregation. Brothers and sisters, we begin our collection from the Psalms. Instead of the usual prayers, Psalms are sung here, the themes of which are very diverse. We also hear texts about Ukraine. God great, united, to us, Ukraine keep. There are some psalms that tell the story of the congregation itself, or about the suffering and resurrection of Jesus Christ. To save man from evil, you gave your Son. Such a set of different topics is not the only thing that surprises this service. It is also surprising that any parishioner can speak here. Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
Mother Zion and her sons, pleading with tears, became victims in the fire in her little hut. But all the speeches are purely about their faith. In Rivne region, 9 versts from Rivne, there is a village Omelana. In this village was born, grew up and lived one woman, Kirilchuk Olga. Her life was hard, grieving, in wanderings. She lived 12 years. Listening to this man, you can hear the history of this faith. But what struck me most of all was how deeply people immerse themselves in prayer. When reading the sacred texts, many cannot contain their emotions. Almost everyone got on their knees and prayed. There are such small mats. I don't know the texts of these prayers. We just kneel with respect for these people. The service as a whole lasts over 2 hours, during which I am increasingly struck by how deep and sincere faith can be. So a new age has opened, incomprehensible to the beast, incomprehensible to man, but open to us. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. You are the first to film our prayers, never before. Very thankful for this opportunity. These laws that were read today, all these commandments, how we work, how we eat, how we behave, this is this spiritual Jerusalem. This is this spiritual city. This is what is being built here. We talked to the older generation. Now it is interesting to hear the opinion about religion and traditions among young people. How old are you? I'm 29 now. The older I get, the more I like all the traditions. When I was 18, they said they were taboos. And now I see that it is for a normal life, for exactly a happy life. Very good. Let's say we celebrate Saturday and Sunday. Here we have Saturday off and Sunday off. Anyway, as busy as work is, we'd rather lose our jobs but not go to work. Besides, we can't smoke, we can't drink. It's very good for our health. You'll live longer, yes. Yes, lots of children. Children are happiness. About marriage, being one for life. I also like it a lot. That a man or a woman choose a partner for life. It will not come out after 2 or 3 years. I'm sick of you, you're sick of me. You have to find compromises because it takes so much effort to build a strong family. Have you sinned, broken the rules? I'll be honest, there was a time when I tried both drinking and smoking. Did you go to discos? Yes. At that time, when you went to clubs, to discos, did you want to go outside the community and live a different life? Well, for me personally, no. I know people who have said, I feel better, like, yeah, there's freedom there. We have a rule not to impose our religion. The more you impose religion on a person, the more it repels them. If very briefly summarize everything then, a wife for life, family the most important thing, do not smoke, do not drink, help each other, helping each other, and in no case using swear words. So everything is for good. But other people in Odessa, for example, look at you and say, oh, the bearded. In high school it was annoying. Now I like that word, that beard, like the wealth of the family. Now scientists are proving that it is an extension of the nervous system. Even in America, there were surveys of special forces. When they have a beard and they are to be attacked, they wake up in advance and leave the place. The same special forces shave off their beards and fail one test after another. Perhaps it is because of the rules that the bearded people follow that they are happy here. They are engaged in construction and earn very good money. They live well, support and help each other in difficult situations. And on important holidays, the whole community comes together. If anyone has anything to say against it, let them speak now or be silent for the rest of their lives. Therefore, I ask if there is anyone who has any objection to this marriage.
No.
Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
The newlyweds take wedding vows to each other. They receive instruction from their parents and the obligatory blessing from the most venerable elder, Ms. Maria, granddaughter of the founder of their faith, Olga. According to their faith, they can never divorce again and will be together all their lives.
Wishing you all the best from the Lord. May the Lord bless you. Your beginning in your life, my dearest, best, great grandchildren. I wish you all the best. That's it.
Wishing you happiness and only happiness. May God Himself bless. By the way, the newlyweds, like many other ordinary Ukrainian families, went for a photo shoot after the ceremony. So while we are waiting for them, we can look at everything. Wow! These are the honeymoon seats. What are our traditional dishes? Karavai, sushi, traditional Ukrainian, beer. I will not say the brand. 0. Non-alcoholic. Fish, salads. Meanwhile, the newlyweds are already returning from a wedding photo shoot in Odessa. How are you in the mood? The best. That's how we took the picture.
Everything is great.
First hours in the new status. How are they? It's not clear yet. Are you happy? 100%. Bitter, bitter, bitter. It's okay to kiss, right? Just in front of everyone.
Just today.
Just today? Are you not allowed to kiss in public tomorrow?
No.
So it comes out that for one day in your life you can do that in public. Wow, this, friends, is a place where you can only kiss once in your life in public. What are the most important rules to you? For us, since we are a young couple, since we are dating, of course we are forbidden many things. Walking down the street, hand in hand, even a banal hug is forbidden, only after marriage. Interestingly, marriages here are solely within the community, and the whole community is about 800 people, or about 20 very large families. So the question arises. Here you are, all relatives, one way or another, right? Are you all related to each other? We're each other's third cousins. Third cousins, huh? Kind of. My grandfather and her grandmother are brother and sister. We are used to the idea that marriages between relatives are unacceptable because they can carry the threat of genetic diseases in children. As strange as it may sound to you and me, but modern genetics proves that in unions between relatives, starting with third cousins, there are no more risks than in spouses from different families. The bearded men adhere to this principle. And since the community is small, marriages between relatives are not uncommon here. I was chatting with your kids just now, and they said they are each other's triple cousins. cousins. Is that correct? Yes.
I'm cousins with Oksana.
Are you two cousins?
Yes.
3 cousins, is that no problem? No. And that's okay? Absolutely. God created man. God knows best what is best for man. One thing that surprised me a little bit in the house of worship, not that it surprised me, but I didn't expect to be talking about such intimate things. I don't even know we have kids watching. I don't know how to say it. In married life, you can't just go to bed like that. When something happens, it has to happen so that a child can come along. Not for nothing. Here it is considered a sin if you deliberately avoid children. Any contraception is prohibited. And that includes natural contraception. To seed in vain is prohibited, right? By the Lord forever. What other bans are there? One may not live intimate life on feast days, that is Saturday and Sunday, nor it was read in the law today, on the days of a woman's purification. So the husband is not allowed to touch the woman for 7 days. Touching even with your hand? Well, that's what it says, not to touch. If a child is born, for 40 days the woman is considered unclean. Said now the word unclean, and I immediately remembered what traditions, for example, in Pakistan, which we filmed, and there is even a so-called menstrual house. When a woman once a month goes to this house, is considered unclean and does not have contact with the family even. I see here standing people and a girl with a teapot. Is that bringing their relatives tea?
Yeah, they brought food for mom.
Brought a scone and tea for mom. There you go. What did you just say?
There is her mom standing there, embarrassed to come out to get her tea. We're stepping back.
You can come out. The wall of the menstrual house, you can't even touch it, right? A woman, when she's not menstruating, you can't. But a man, in principle.
Yes, you can't.
What happens if, for example, I unknowingly, didn't read it and touched it?
Well, first of all, you will have to wash very well, change your clothes, and go through a cleansing ritual.
There is no such strictness, but in intimate life. You have the process of birth in the family stops in a natural way. That is, you continue to live a full life and get as many pregnancies as possible, right? Yes. What were the first big goals you set for yourself? We are planning to go on vacation. Where to? On honeymoon to the Carpathians. Yes. Newlyweds do not even realize that their dream has already come true. The bridal party is starting now, and before that, the giveaways. We're first up. First of all, flowers for the beautiful bride. Now I want to tell everyone, this is a real miracle. We just did an interview and I asked what the young ones dream of. They said they dream of traveling. I asked them where. They said to the Carpathians. I didn't know before. And now we give you this certificate. It's a trip to the Carpathians. Verkhovina. And now the celebration begins. Traditionally, as we are used to at weddings, guests give money or something necessary for the newlyweds from the necessary things.
Congratulations to you.
You won't see dancing here, only short performances of children with songs or an ensemble of musicians. In the meantime, we drive on to further explore the life of small communities. After about 3 hours, we are back in another world in the Odesa region, where some rituals surprise even more than the loss of the bearded man. Friends, you and I continue to study Basarabia. In previous programs, we have already been to the Bulgarians who live in Basarabia and showed how they have a traditional celebration of grape harvesting and winemaking. Today we will see another important tradition, which is hard to imagine in modern Ukraine. There's a holiday being prepared. They're having a celebration here right in the middle of the street. Is this a mandatory ritual of Bulgarian hospitality?
Yes, yes.
White wine, right? Very tasty. As we have already told you, Bulgarians moved to Basarabia 200 years ago, feeling persecution by the Ottoman Empire for their culture and traditions. However, even when the threat had passed, the Bulgarians still chose to stay here. Please tell us about this holiday.
In our village, we often had accidents. Someone would drown, or lightning would kill someone. or some other disease. The old people gathered and began to decide what to do, how to find a way out of this situation. And they decided that we should make a vow. They decided to organize Kurban for the whole village.
The word Kurban is known to us from the Muslim world. In literal translation, it means sacrifice, and the biggest holiday of all Muslims is Kurban Bayram. This day they sacrifice to God and thank Him for His love. But for Bulgarians, such a sacrifice has a different purpose.
In honor of not having accidents and living peacefully and quietly.
So, it's your belief.
Yes, 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 yes.
We have seen sacrificial rituals in many cultures. For example, Muslims around the world sacrifice ritual animals. In the Nepalese city of Lakla, a rooster is regularly slaughtered to guard one of the most dangerous airports on the planet. Hindus offer flowers and fruits to the gods, and in the community of bearded people, which we met today, there was a living woman who voluntarily sacrificed her body. What or whom Ukrainian Bulgarians use as a sacrifice, we will find out right now. We are having the Kurban holiday today. Kurban is a Muslim holiday. What about you? This is our purely Bulgarian holiday. One thing in common, lambs are slaughtered here and there. You are Christians. We have an Orthodox church. That's what our grandparents did, and so we. We are used to Christianity not having regular sacrifices. There is their traditional communion, which symbolizes the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. But even though the Bulgarians are Christians, they were under the strong influence of the Ottoman Empire for almost 5 centuries. Therefore, they adopted the tradition of sacrifice from the Muslims. Accordingly, Ukrainian Bulgarians brought this tradition to Ukraine, and now they call it, according to the Islamic pattern, Kurban. On what basis do you choose which one to catch? I choose from among my own. What color are yours? White, brown. Here, friends, see how they catch. That's the kind of hook. It's pretty small. You have to be very skillful in using this thing to catch. You see, friends, this is how the preparation for the Bulgarian Kurban, which, as it turns out, is also popular here in Basarabia. Don't you feel sorry for them? That's the way to go for the sacrifice. A lamb is slaughtered in honor of the Lord. The neighbors gather, every street gathers together, splurges, and buys a lamb and slaughters it 7 Thursdays after Easter. So let's settle up. Wait, everything is fine. We need to settle up the bills. Who are you, Chief? No, I'm the storekeeper. So to pay to you? Yes, yes, yes. How much for a lamb? 76 hryvnia live weight. 76 a kilo, huh? For a kilo, yes. Streets raised money. Well, as a rule. The streets collected the money and everyone gave 1,000 each, right? No, we rounded them up. Rounded up, I get it. Let's take the lambs off and let's go for it. The ritual of sacrifice is performed by the oldest men of the village. Before slaughtering the animal, they recite Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy will be done. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. Amen. A prayer was said and now animals are being killed. It's always painful to watch. Tell me, you pray before you slaughter. Lord's Prayer read, what is this sacrifice dedicated to? To God, that God may give us. To health, to success, to prosperity, to harvest, to everything. Because we have an arid zone, a risky farming zone. People can make sacrifice for rain. They can do it for rain. For rain. Today, Bulgarians from the village of Horodne make such sacrifices to protect themselves from force majeure. It gives them a sense of control over unpredictable circumstances and is one of the main sources of their strength. And yet such sacrifices do not prevent them from considering themselves Christians and reciting Our Father before the ritual itself. Next, we're going to go smear the kids. Smear with what? With blood. Why smear children? To them have ruddy cheeks, to be beautiful, healthy. Friends traveled all over the world, saw very scary rituals, but I did not think that in our country, in Basarabia, I will see how children are smeared with blood. It's already frozen. Smearing with the blood of a sacrificial animal is an ancient Bulgarian rite that symbolizes protection, purification, and strength. It aims to ward off evil spirits and protect the child from illness. It's to make you a strong hero.
for the sake of health, so the children grow up healthy, ruddy. A blush on the cheeks is always health.
While the children were going through the ritual of protection from evil forces, the women joined in. The sacrificial animal has already been processed, and the preparation of the ritual dinner begins. The dish kurban is cooked on fire in a large cauldron. The recipe of the kurban itself, by the way, is quite simple.
I sprinkle in the red pepper. Now, the meat again. We close it well, tightly.
For a couple hours, right? And now, while the meat is cooking, we will leave for 2 hours and go to Belgrade. And there we will see at what price any holiday, any full life is given during a full-scale war. We will go to the Bulgarians, who, unfortunately, are not having a holiday today. Sometimes you can hear that here in Basarabia is a calm region, there is no war, and now we see that this is not true, that there is war here, it is felt. And now Alexander Bortnik is being buried. He's a resident of Belgrade, fought in the Kherson region, was killed by a drone. Now his body has been brought there, is a farewell. Many Ukrainians of Bulgarian origin are fighting. Many have died, unfortunately. And we should not forget that, including thanks to him. Today, people who live peacefully in this region have such an opportunity, because if it were not for heroes like him, there would be no life here. Rest in peace. These days, unfortunately, one can often see such closeness of war and peace, of faith in defense and real loss. Traditions carried through the centuries and modern changes. Such strong contrasts are, of course, very difficult to perceive, but unfortunately today it is an integral part of our reality. Life and death are always close. And now, after the soldiers' farewell ceremony, we return to the village of Horodny. There is already such a carnival, such a celebration. So many children, so many people, all so beautifully dressed. Wow, everything has changed in 2 hours. How beautiful everyone is. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
We were on our way, you were cooking.
It's already done.
Yes, it's been 2 hours, it's done, and there's life going on here, thankfully. Kurban is a holiday for the whole village. In order to accommodate everyone, the festive table is placed in the biggest courtyard. So friends, this is what a typical Bulgarian feast looks like. By your standards, is it a rich, average or an ordinary feast? Average, modest feast. Kurban, that is a dish of mutton, this is the kind we eat today. Is it for religious holidays? Is it weddings? Is it birthdays? Is it funerals?
All of it.
Funeral too? You know, I'll tell you a secret. Old men who are like 72 years old and he has to die. He buys a lamb, castrates it and fattens it up at home so that it can be slaughtered at his funeral. It's a little early, 72, you have to live a little longer. But he ate 5. He ate 5 and lived to be 95, didn't he? Something starting. Round dance?
Dancing, dancing.
A round dance, yes. Friends, this dancing will go on until late at night, until everyone is tired and goes back to eating lamb. The people we met today are very different and at the same time very similar. They have a strong and unshakable faith that gives them the strength to endure in these difficult times. We can treat this faith however we want, accept it for ourselves or not, believe that a ritual of sacrifice or not shaving can make life better, or not to believe it. But the main thing is to respect these people, despite their faith and peculiarities of traditions. All of us, Ukrainians, are very different, but at the same time, we should be united. This is our main strength. When we are united, we are invincible. Watch the next episode. Sitting near the crater of a volcano, it's even scary. We're going into the heart of the fire industry. 7 injuries. I hope the +1 doesn't show up here tonight, which is impressive in its scale. Just takes your breath away. Extreme temperatures. No film crew in the world has ever filmed this point yet. Hard work. The most dangerous moment we've ever shown. At the epicenter of the fire element. I'm a steel worker! And the people who conquer metal on a daily basis. Give the oxygen. Don't miss it! The World Inside Out with Dmytro Komarov, Ukraine.